Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Prog Report podcast episode. It's a new music September episode, or as I think
Yes.
we'll call it, Dan hears music for the first time. That's what we'll call
Yeah,
this
let's
episode.
do it.
I like to do these once in a while when it sort of comes to my attention that there's been a lot new material coming out, and this past month was crazy. We do this tracks of the month at the end of every month, and usually we like to feature 8 every month, and people vote, and that's been a lot of fun. Actually, we've done that now for a year. I figured out, but this past month the choice was like 15 different singles that were pretty cool, and I was like, wow, we should do another episode and catch up on some stuff. So got 13 tracks here. We'll play a little bit of them, and talk about them and see how it goes. Cool. All right, so jump
I'm
right
ready.
in. Yeah, let's
Let's
jump
do
right
it.
in. And we're gonna go with. I want to start off with this band Molybaron. We've covered them a little bit on the website. Kyle Fagala did a playthrough. I'm sorry, a reaction video on one of their earlier singles called "Something Ominous." The album is called "Something Ominous," and it comes out on September 15th. I'm just realizing I did not write all the release dates for the album titles in my little screen here, so sometimes the information may be wrong, but bear with me, and we'll try to figure it out as best as we can. But they just released this song called Reality Show. I think this song is awesome. It's one of my favorite songs of the year. These guys aren't necessarily a prog band, but they have really cool elements. The songs are kind of short, 4 or 5 minutes. They're very straightforward. They have a lot of energy, really great production. They're a mix of French and Italian. The singer's from France, and I think it's just a killer song. So I'm jumping to the end here because I really like the ending, and I don't know if you've listened to this track yet, Dan. So I want
Um,
you to hear this.
I listened to another one of their songs, and possibly in the last episode we did of like
Maybe
this podcast.
might have
Yeah.
been that Something Ominous single, because that came out months ago before the album was even announced. So
hmm
that was the story with that one. But let's go ahead and jump into the end of this song and see what you think. I think this
Let's
is
do it.
cool, very cool.
When you sold your soul for another dose, when you lose control, flying high, you'll never be alone. Life from now, reality.
It's fun.
I love this part. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's so
Nice.
badass.
I don't know how I feel about his vocals. I think at least on that
I
on
hear that
that
from people.
chorus,
Yeah, yeah, because
on that
he has a
chorus, it
weird
sounds kind
accent.
of kind of funny. It's not the accent. I'm not one to talk, right, about accents, but like the tone, it's kind of it sounds funny. It's not like you know, don't really know how to add to it, but I like it. The chorus
Yeah,
was good, and then the outro with the riffs, it's fun.
it's very Muse-like to me, this
Yeah.
song especially, with that keyboard sound at the end. I don't know,
hmm
I just think it has a lot of energy and it kicks ass, and it's just kind of intricate enough to kind of keep me
Totally.
interested. But I really dig it. So that album comes out on September 15th. If you like that, go check it out. And they have a few other singles out as well. Okay, so moving on to cool. Trevor Rabin is back. We've covered him before. Our reaction guy, Kyle Fagala, he did one on Big Mistakes, the first single. And I'm a big fan of Trevor Rabin, as I think I've talked about, and really excited for this album called Rio. Comes out on October 6th. The second single called Push literally just came out this week. So I wanted to go ahead and feature this one. This is the big kind of real prog epic on the album. It's almost 7 minutes. It has a lot of crazy parts, a lot of great guitar playing, time signature shifts, and it's just killer. I think this is amazing. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna jump here to a part and
I'm
see if
curious to
you
check
hear
this
it.
out because I haven't checked anything on his album, and you tell me that you really like what you've heard so far, and everyone
I
loves
think
it,
this
and I'm
album's
like, yeah.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this song's really cool. And it's not like the first single. The first single was a bit more of a straightforward, had some great
Hmm.
playing and stuff, but a bit more of like an arena rocker song, or whatever. This is like, I think if you're a Prog fan, if you're a Yes fan, if you're that kind of stuff, this is going to be the track that I think you'll like.
I love the bass.
All the dreams of truth, they prevaricate. In the darkest night, they'll eviscerate. Every man decays from a nation. Foreign lands delay
Is that a Christian Reels video? Because it
I was
screams
going to see if
Christian
you could
Reels.
figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, no, I figured it out. Yeah, I really like it, man.
There's so much going on. You listen real close.
That's really cool,
So
man.
yeah, it's cool, right? I mean,
Oh,
it's
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 really cool. Yeah, it has that
yeah.
that old school vibe. You know,
Hmm.
brings that classic sound in a modern way with like the layers are really well done and composed. You can see a lot of effort on like very little details on that part, like right after the singing
Yeah.
section. So I really like that, and I like the video too. It was like super trippy, and some of the effects on the beginning. It's like, hey, this kind of looks like the Bird on a Wire video Christian made.
When you saw when you saw the guy on the mountain, is that what I
And
saw
then
you?
I
I saw you
saw
sort of going,
Christian, and
"Hmm."
then yeah, that's him. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
but it's
Real,
cool.
real, real cool to see Christian doing all these killer videos. He's a good friend of ours,
Yeah,
and he does some
totally.
amazing work. Yeah. So yeah, Trevor Rabin, Rio. Again, the album's all over the place. So to compare the two singles, they're very different, and the rest of it's even more different. It's a wild
Hmm.
record with all sorts of styles, and it's amazing. So I really, really am a fan of that one. Okay, so I've been pushing this band on everybody called No Spoon, you with
Hmm.
little line over it. And just did an interview with them and another band, the Anchorade. We're going to cover them as well. That if you want to check out and find out a little bit more, that interview is just up on the podcast and everywhere else on our YouTube channel. But I think this album is amazing. I really want to keep pushing it and have people hear it because I think this is one of the best albums out this year. Very if you're a fan of Dream Theater, Haken, that kind of prog metal with melodies and choruses and good playing, this is kind of what they do. It's a concept record, again, all sorts of different twists and turns around it. They have one video out for this track called Earworm, and it's sort of a song that's all over the place and very cool. We're going to play a little bit of this and try to continue to get people on board with No Spoon. The album's out now, by the way.
It may sound minor, but I know that it's major.
awesome, man.
There you go.
I
That's
love it.
cool, right?
I have listened to the whole album a couple of times. I haven't really spent enough time with it to be familiar, like with this song. The sections that were meant to surprise me still did, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. I like them. I like the
I'm telling you,
energy.
man, this is the album for people. You gotta sit with this record. It has so many cool parts,
Mhm.
and every time I listen to it, I'm so impressed with the production. It sounds like it was recorded in like $1 million studio. It's one of the best sounding records I've ever heard, and it
Yeah,
was
and
all done
it's
in at the bassist's home. He recorded it and mixed it
yeah,
himself. It's crazy.
including the video too. It appears
Yeah,
it's really
yeah,
house made, and
yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love his voice. I love the guitar
Mhm.
tone. It's just it's good stuff all around. Definitely my one of my favorite songs today, and we're
Yeah,
not even halfway through, but it's gonna
yeah.
be one of
I
those.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, No Spoon. The album's called Opus. Please do check it out. It's out now. You can check it out on Bandcamp. It's on Spotify. It's on wherever. So go and support those guys. So I'm going to continue with the other band that was on that podcast I did, the Anchor It. These guys are awesome too. It's mostly the brainchild of one guy. His name is Ed Levitsky. Kind of wrote everything and got a few other people to come in and sing and play some things. Andy Tillison from the Tangent plays keyboards on this record. This is just a killer debut. It's very I like to describe it sort of as a mix of Opeth meets King Crimson. It has that kind of very dark, heavy sound, but also saxophones and weird things going on. So it's kind of a weird mix of jazzy metal. Um, and yeah, I think this album is amazing, and another one that you should check out. These are two really killer debuts that don't come around very often. So I think, and they've both been getting a lot of publicity. These guys as well have been making the rounds, and so check this out. What do you think of that one?
I love that album actually. The other day you just texted me something like every time you hear it, it screams Daniel, and I should love this
It really
album.
does.
And you don't understand how I don't. Like, okay, I'll listen to it. And then I listened to it a couple more times, and it has what you said. What you told me is it has a kind of a Opeth meets King Crimson energy, which I really enjoy, and um, the different instruments that it adds, like the flutes and the saxophones mixed with like the riffs. You know, it's a cool album. It sounds very
Yeah,
interesting. It doesn't go in a safe direction all the time. So I really like this song. Really want to listen to it more because I feel like I want to know the songs and sing the songs. You know, I want to get to that
yeah, yeah.
level because I like it that much. So yeah, it's one of the good ones for sure.
It's an album that took me. I I wasn't sure. It wasn't like an easy sell for me, right?
Hmm.
Because it's real dense. It's like a lot of stuff packed in there, and but when I listened to the first time and the second time, I was like, I know if I keep with this record, I know I'm gonna like this because
Hmm.
it just feels like this record that needs time. That's what I felt like with it, and it has really grown on me the more I've listened to it.
Yeah, to me, it was more like an instant like. Actually, it grew on me faster, but also I need to dedicate more time to appreciate it even more. I think, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I said there's this certain, I was like, This is Dan's record. I just know I have to make him. I know I have to be a pain in the ass and get him to listen to this." All right. So we'll move on. So far, so good. Another one of your favorites here. Our
Oh
good
yeah,
friends,
let's
Pattern
go.
Seeking Animals, have a new album out called Spooky Action at a Distance, I want to say is the title.
Yeah, I was
Comes October
expecting a
27th.
lot more music that I don't know at all, but it's been like three in a row that I know. So
That
it's
you do know. Cool.
yeah,
Good.
and that I do like.
Uh,
So
yeah, and the new single called "Window to the World." Kill Just a killer song. I mean, they keep evolving just subtly enough from album to album. A lot of cool stuff on this album as well. Really short lead time from the first single to when it's out, which is very cool. So, this album you don't have to wait 6 months to come out. It comes out in October. And yeah, play a little bit of the first single, which just sort of starts off right away with vocals. So we'll kick in.
I know Edgar Allan Poe. I'm just an ordinary Joe waiting for the time to pass. On the side of the glass at my window to the world. At my window to the
I love this song.
Yeah.
I'm no Michelangelo, but I can paint you a John Doe waiting for the world to wake, watching every turn it takes. From my window to the world, from my window to the world.
What they do
That's
with
cool.
Ted's voice is crazy because he has his like amazingly high registry, and they just pick like some wacky, weird vocal lines for him, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just so interesting. Sometimes it's jarring to a point that you get, what? Why is he doing that? You know. And I think that's the case with this song. The way they arrange the vocals together with the reggae like beat that they go
Yeah.
with it,
The
it,
more
it
I've
that's the moving picture sound a little bit too.
Well, the more I've listened to this album, the more I feel like they've started to develop a really unique sound of their own. I don't think anyone sounds like them right now
Yeah,
in our music world a little bit, in the prog
I
world.
agree.
They've really stumbled upon on something very cool.
Yeah, of course it reminds you of modern Spock's because you have the same
Just because of
bass
his voice.
sound and the vocals. Yeah, but composition wise they moved away from it a lot.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, I
the
agree.
previous two albums, I think are super cool, and especially Prehensile Tales. That's one of my personal favorites.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Give me one second. I just want to check something here. All right, cool. Okay, moving on. Well, I think we're gonna go 5 for 5 here on another one that you're gonna like because it's another one of your favorites.
Oh
Vola.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
sorry.
man, I'm so happy you have a
Yeah,
like that. That's a great selection right there. That's one
yeah,
song that came out I think last week, and I can
yeah.
sing it. I have I've listened to it like 15 times.
You know what's amazing I find about Vola, and I think sometimes it's as simple as can you write a good song and have a good singer? And it doesn't even always need to be the most original thing in the world,
No,
because
yeah, it
Vola's
does
not the
not.
most original band in the world, right? I mean,
Yeah, they
they
have
they're
prog elements, but they are like a metal band. They
they found a sort of tweak in the whole kind of, Haken, Leprous, Riverside vibe there a little bit, and, but man, the singer's awesome, and they write the best hooks, and,
that's the
I'm
thing that
so
they have a good
excited
chorus,
about
man.
them. Yeah,
So it's the kind of band that you listen to a song like Straight Lines, for example, and you keep that in your head for days, and then you're like, you know
I
what?
was
I'm gonna check some
obsessed
of
with that song.
their other stuff. I think Paper Wolf is a song that the chorus is also very strong,
Yep.
and this song in particular, I think they went a little heavier, a more classic metal like thrash metal riffing, but they still have that. that calm vocal on the chorus that kind of soars over the heaviness, and
Maybe
it's
that's
such a
what it is.
beautiful
He just sort
contrast,
of
man.
sings he sings kind of regular in the
Yeah, and
choruses.
he's
Maybe
calm.
that's
He's
what
just, it's almost like he's saying words, and he's not
yeah.
going with like very distant um melodies. He's going notes that are closer to each other, and they sound like, I don't know, man. I love this, man. It's one of my recent favorites for sure.
Yeah, totally agree. Thrilled for this. And I guess they're touring in the US. They have Wheel or Killer.
Also one of
And
my modern favorites. Yeah.
I want to say Bent Knee is also opening. I hope that's correct.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
let's
a great lineup. Anyone should go see
yeah, it is.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not going because I can't, but you should.
I'm gonna miss it as well, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But they're not coming exactly near me, but whatever.
yeah.
Here, all right. Let me go ahead and get this.
Your bones are fossils. Are you puzzled now? Watch out, the wolf is coming. Save your soul. You better watch out, the wolf is coming. Take a hold. You better watch out, the wolf is coming. Save your soul. Give it to the crowd and turn to nothing. Bells will toll tonight.
Yeah, that's so good.
I'm so sad you
Right?
stopped.
I know it's so
Well, I
good.
don't know. They're not releasing a new album, right? It's just this song.
They haven't announced a new album. No, a lot of
Yeah,
bands are starting to do this now. When they have a tour and they don't have anything new coming out, they drop a song.
yeah,
So I guess my guess is there'll be an album out next year, probably. But yeah,
yeah. No, that's a great one, man. It makes me excited that they have like material, that like new material, because I actually been getting closer to their older material, because the first album I listened to was the, what's the name of it? The one with the black and white cover that has straight lines. The most recent
I'm
one.
forgetting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I forget the name of it.
yeah. We're getting older. Sorry, guys,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's
it's a
you
good
know what?
one.
Honestly, it's like 100 records a month that we listen to.
Yeah,
I can't possibly keep them all straight without writing it down.
yeah.
All
But
right, so
it's a great one. So let's move on.
let's move on. Okay, another band that you like, although I don't know if you've heard this one,
I,
Flower
I've
Kings.
I've heard this song. Yes, dude. It's
Um,
this is not a Daniel listens to stuff for the first time podcast.
I know you're doing good. You're
Yeah,
doing good.
yeah.
I
See,
think you've heard most of these. Come to think of it, now that yeah, which is great. Proud of you.
thanks, man.
So
Keep putting in the effort.
look at you now. Is their new album which comes out this week? I think this podcast will be out before the album is out, but it's out on September 8th. And the second single from it was called "The Dream." You know, this song is sort of typical of the band when they try to do something inspirational, I guess, that kind of thing, anthemic and that kind of thing. But it's
Uplifting, right? Yeah.
beautiful, uplifting. It's just a beautiful, beautiful song with a great message. And I like this one a lot. So we're gonna go with a little bit of this track here.
Another smokestack upon horizons where you are bound. There is no hiding about one truth. Shine bright and strong. The great divider of right and wrong. It will take some time to figure out, but once you see it, you just wanna shout. At the foot of this mountain, we have this vision of one love and consolidation.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
nice.
the Flower Kings. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that's a Daniel thing, but to me, they've reached a point that it sounds kind of samey. So it's not something that I would kind of pursue to listen to all the time. But it's a band that I love so much and I respect so much of their history, and they can release double albums every other week.
Right.
It's crazy. And I mean, I haven't listened to the album yet, but I definitely will, and I'm excited to see
Good.
what.
There's a lot of great stuff on it, but yeah, it sounds like them. They're not and I actually think that's their idea. I think if you've read some stuff that Royna has said online, it's that there's so many bands doing kind of that metal thing, right? The Vola thing or the No Spoon thing or whatever that
Mhm.
they want to do their thing and
Yeah.
not do that. And so it's sort of the counter to that by staying
Yeah, I know, I
what
know.
they
I
do.
don't
You know
even
what I mean?
expect that. I mean,
Yeah.
when you go back to some of their classic stuff, there's a lot of identity there. I feel like the last few albums kind of lost some of it, because they chose the route of being like slower or more poetic. Because the uplifting thing has always been there, but it kind of treading a different path here a little
Yeah.
bit, which is also
Um
cool, but
yeah,
has
yeah.
its ups and downs.
But either way, I will say it is a great album to listen to. A lot of great stuff on it from what you'd expect, and I like this song a lot as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Southern Empire,
I
who
also
are
listen to
back
it.
after. Oh, you did? Okay, great.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
been
killing
back
it, man.
uh, after a few years with a new album called Another World, and actually it comes out this week as well. A couple of singles been out. The new one, most recent one's called "Hold On to Me," and the guitar player takes lead vocals on this one, and then the new singer Sean comes in towards the back half to kind of bring it up a little bit. And we're gonna just skip to that part here a little bit towards the end. This is another great song. You know what? I like this album a lot. It's again, it's in that neo prog kind of Marillion IQ, Unitopia, all that kind of stuff. But it's done really well. A lot of great stuff on there. Keyboardist Sean Timms, who put this band together, does a great job. So let's check this out a little bit.
So you can hold on to me when you're feeling weak. Let me be your strength. Put your weight on me. You can hold on to me when there is no light. Let me be your fire. Let me be your guide. You can hold on to me when you're feeling weak. I wanna set you free. So hold on to me. Just hold on to me. You can't just let your past dictate your future. It's still up to you.
And to people that are listening to this for the first time, this is more of a ballady song and very
Right.
melodic, slower. But the album has some crazy stuff in it, and
Yeah.
like a lot of instrumental passages, and it's a little different than the previous one, which is called Civilization. It's an album that I really really love. The other one has more symphonic elements. This one has a lot of synth. It has some parts that are more fun than epic, but it's a great album too, and I feel like a lot of people should check it out.
I
It's
know a lot of
strong.
people really like
So
Civilization. We get comments about that a lot, but to be honest, I like this album better.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's wait out.
yeah, I guess maybe it's new. But yeah, great band from Australia. And if you want to check out, I did a really good interview with Sean Timms, which I put out on the podcast a couple weeks ago. And he's a really interesting guy. He's a long career, so check
Awesome.
that
Yeah,
out.
they're awesome band.
Um, yep.
Yeah, and
All right, moving on. All right, Dan, why don't you tell us about this band, Temek?
yeah, Tamek is a cool new band with some guys that we know and some guys that I'm friends with that they are awesome people and musicians. And this song in particular might be my favorite on the album. I think their album is really strong. It has a very particular sound. The way the vocalist Frederick, his voice matches with the heaviness and the very unique keyboard sounds that Diego brings are awesome. And have Eric Gillette on guitars, which is always amazing, and he does backing vocals as well. And Simon Sanders on drums, who does a killer job on every song.
He's
And I feel
really
like
good. Great
I
drummer.
feel like every song has a unique drum fill that he brings in. That's very, you know, awesome. I don't know, man. This band is one of the highlights of Prog this year for me, and the debut album is really impressive. This is one of my favorite songs. I like it better than the previous one they released, which was Count Your Losses. Um, and I think if you're in the Haken camp or Dream Theater or Vola, Riverside, if you like that kind of prog,
Yeah.
which if you listen to the Prog Report and you know my opinions, it's what I listen to mostly. It's right up your alley as well. So
Yeah, agreed. And I will say also, this video is amazing. Like the
oh yeah,
location and the shooting is wild. Very
yeah.
cool.
That
Let's go ahead and
one
check.
definitely needs to be highlighted. Sure.
Yeah, let's check this out.
Yeah, so that was the chorus, which is great. The verses are also really fun. There's a lot of cool stuff in this album. And yeah, you're right. The
Yeah,
video is awesome.
I wonder how they put that sun back there. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. That's a very subtle edit that adds a lot to the shots. It's already
Yeah,
a great
really
looking
badass.
place, so you just add a little very tweaking thing, so it's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so Temek, and that the album doesn't come out for a while.
Yeah, it's out in
That's not out
November, I
until like
think.
November. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
think they
still, I
might
think,
have they have time to put out a couple more singles till then. It's cool. The album has some variety in it. This song is different enough to count your losses that it
yeah, yeah, really
warrants
good hook,
this.
really
Yeah.
good chorus on this one.
Hmm.
All right, cool. Moving on to Subsignal, who have a new album out called "The Poetry of Rain." I want to say it's called
Hmm.
"A Poetry of Rain," and I think it comes out later this month. And I love these guys. Their last album, La Muerta, which came out maybe 5 years ago by now, was like
Yeah,
I
it's
loved that
one of our
record.
favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, and so really excited that they came out with a new one. Um, they've been very kind of hush about releasing news about this album. To be honest, if it's sort of if you find out on their socials, all of a sudden like a new video appears. So it's kind of how I found out about the video. Not uh, not the greatest video compared to the last one, we
If you
might
see
say,
me laughing as soon as I read that name,
but
you know that's the reason.
yeah,
This video is very
but
particular.
but the song,
The song is awesome.
the
Yeah.
song is great. So let's go ahead and check that out. I love their harmonies.
Dude, yeah. And his voice is so. I love it. Dude, it's
Videos. You
almost
gotta check out the video.
at my favorite point of the video when they're sitting at the table together. That's the best part. Either way, man, Subsignal is a great band, and they
Yeah,
have like the same thing we were talking about Vola. They have really good hooks,
yeah,
and
for
some
sure.
of them they're like you can connect with the vocals, and on the background the band is doing some crazy odd time signature stuff, you know,
Right.
and it kind
Yeah,
of blends in
it's
together
that
so
thing where the
well.
harmonies are simple and great, and then underneath it, all this stuff's going on. That's a really great mix when you can pull that off. And
Exactly, and they do
yeah,
it very
I love these
well.
guys. I
Yeah.
wish more people knew about this band and listen to their stuff. I think Subsignal's a really underrated,
Hmm.
underappreciated band. So their album, look them up on socials. I think if you want to check out their stuff, not much of it is on streaming or anything. You just kind of have to buy
No,
it. I
I
don't
think
know.
that
So
they're on streaming. I
some
usually
stuff is,
listen to
yeah.
them on Spotify. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go to a really weird one, and just cause it's something I like, it has
Hmm.
almost no place being on this podcast, but I'm going to go to it anyway. So a little while back, I'm sure people have heard the name The Guess Who. This is the band that was big that started in the '60s, and they have that famous song, "These Eyes Are Crying." It's like a famous song, and then they have a bunch of hits in the early '70s and '60s, and one of those classic rock bands. Um, Somehow they've stuck around, and they put out a brand new album a couple months ago with the drummer's the only original member, and he's up there in age, and he has a few other guys in the band that are younger. When I say younger, I'm talking 40s and 50s. But uh and I don't know, somebody said it was pretty good, and I decided to randomly sort of check it out. And it's basically like Jellyfish and Supertramp and all these bands that I like. They changed their sound completely, and so I shared it once on our Facebook page, and Mike Portnoy happened to listen to it, and his comments were hilarious. He's like, "What's happening here? This is amazing, and I have no idea why." And so it was really funny. So for people that kind of like that style, it's something that you would probably never think to listen to. So I wanted to play a little bit of a song on the off chance maybe somebody's into this, and I think it's really cool. In the worst case, it's a good song. So
Awesome. Let's do it.
and this is out now.
I am surrounded by the people around me, people around me. Through the walls stand the people around me, people around me. Shouting out loud, call the people around me, people around me. But even the sun, even the sun won't lie. Even the sun,
Background vocals.
Yeah.
Good, right?
Really good.
Anyway,
This
not
is
bragging, but
yeah, what they call a song, right?
yeah,
It's a song, and it sounds really good. And Mike was right; it makes not a lot of sense, you know.
but
But
it's an album I've been hooked on. I've been listening to this album
that's
all
cool,
the
man.
time in
I'll check it
between
out.
all the other prog metal. And so my public service message to people is to let them know about this record, which they probably would never have listened to in a million years. And I
Yeah,
just think it's one of the highlights of this year for me,
that's the case
inexplicably,
with
because
me
I
as
don't
well.
even
Yeah.
think I've ever listened to a full Guess Who album in my life. So there you go.
Yeah, it has
Always
a
keep an
classic
open
sound.
mind.
It's totally. I like it. It's something that I will listen to for sure.
Okay, so going completely to the opposite spectrum is, of course, Steven Wilson. We can't talk about new music coming out without talking about the new Steven Wilson, but I left him towards the end because he doesn't need any more support from us.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, he just dropped info about the new album, and the album comes out just in 1 month. He's doing it real short and sweet like that. It's a big time concept record called the Harmony Codex. If you've read up about it or heard anything, you know that it's all sorts of different styles and weird stuff around the record, as he's come to do. The first single was called Economies of Scale, which is sort of an electro pop kind of thing. And he has a single coming out this week called Impossible Tightrope, which is, by his description, an 11-minute journey through jazz and metal and electronica and all sorts of stuff. So I figured, why not? Let's play a little bit of the trailer here while we do this, and
And songs
check
have
it out.
trailers now, guys.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is a long trailer. It's a minute and a half, so it's a good
yeah.
chunk of the tune. So let's check it out. Video's cool too.
Let's go. I love that guitar tone.
Yeah. Well, the production's amazing. I don't want to go too much into this one because I don't want our video to get blocked.
Yeah,
But
it's a dangerous place right here. So who was the drummer here? I thought I read someone say it was
I
the
think
guy
it's
from
Craig
Interpol.
Blundell. I think it's Craig Blundell. I'm not completely sure, but that's who I think is playing on the record. I
Okay.
think he has a few musicians, but I'm pretty sure Craig Blundell is on it. If we're wrong, we apologize. We're not completely sure. Don't
Yeah,
yell at us.
and
Um,
I know he's been touring this album with like in an audio experience kind of thing.
yeah,
Um, and dude, I mean that particular thing that we just listened to sounds awesome. You know, the first single, not necessarily my cup of tea. I only listened to it once, but I
yeah.
will revisit later.
I'm
Some of the
sure.
albums that are, I mean, I like the Future Bites. I don't love it, and I know it's not for me. I appreciate what he does, and if this new album is kind of in that same spirit, that might likely be the same for me. But that song has a vibe that's more like real recorded tracks, like
Yeah, I think.
guitars
Well,
and
from what I've
drums.
heard from people that have gone to the listening experience and have had a chance to hear it, that they say it's not completely like the Future Bites. They say there is some throwback to older stuff kind of mixed in, and that it's a very eclectic record. So I'm hopeful for that. Um, this song does sound, kind of
Hmm.
old,
Yeah,
early
I don't
Steven Wilson solo record stuff.
necessarily hope that it's something that's for me. I just hope that it's interesting and engaging. You say it's an eclectic album. I'm hoping it has some like cool different stuff that people will enjoy. That's the beauty of it, I think. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think he's just trying to experiment now at this point in his career. He gave us Porcupine Tree, which was very cool, and now he's like, "Look, I gave you that, and I'm going back to doing whatever the fuck I want." Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
so okay, I'm kidding. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's all. That's all right, man. That's all right.
All right, we're gonna close with Tesseract, who have a new album called War of Being coming out soon. Um, this band has never really been my cup of tea, as you to use your phrase. Little bit aggressive for me. Whereas some of the aggressive bands might throw some more melodic things in there once in a while that kind of engages me, like Periphery might do. I've always struggled with Tesseract a little bit, although I know they're really good and a lot of people like them. I actually do think this song is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and check out what they're doing here. And I guess it's a game visualizer. I'm not sure if this song is from a video game or what they're trying to say with that. I'm not sure, but
I don't know either, man.
yeah, but let's go ahead and
I should know this because I'm a big fan, but I don't. I'm just out of the loop.
yeah.
So sorry. Let's go.
Yeah. Now we should stop
So
there.
it's funny that you mentioned Periphery because Tesseract is a band that I have a much easier time connecting with than Periphery. Because even their like heavier stuff, like the growls and stuff, when they happen, I feel like I just appreciate it more. And the clean
Yeah.
vocals and the choruses, they're so good. But my favorite parts are those instrumental bits, like the last one,
Right.
the genty, syncopated guitar stuff, that kind of thing. It's great workout music too. I do it a lot. I love it, like Tesseract and working out. It's kind of a great mix.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this album or game or whatever they come up with.
Right. I'm not sure.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't
We're not
know.
sure.
Yeah. The last video was amazing. I think it was maybe for the title track, but it was like a crazy samurai fighting. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
went
a lot of
nuts.
blood. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
No,
cool.
they're listen. It's cool to have them back, and I mean, look at the list of albums we covered on this. It's just 13 albums in this year has been the craziest year for releases. I think that since we've been doing the website, easily. It's just been every band from everywhere has been putting out an album this year. It's nonstop, and we're only in September. So Hope you learned some stuff. I do want to point out, I don't think I mentioned the name of the album for the Guess Who. It's a French thing. It's called Plein d'Amour. But I think I mentioned everyone else, so I wanted to make sure I said that. And yeah, anything else that maybe you've been listening to, Dan, that we want to mention or
Dude, like new songs, not a lot. The thing is, if you remember, we were just at Morse Fest together, and I've been listening to a metal band, like a British metal band called In Search of Sun. I know
okay. Yeah, you
they
played that
have
for us, didn't you?
yeah, they have a new material coming out, and I was only familiar with one album by them, but I've been checking their most recent catalog, and there's a song that's not from this year. I think it's really good. It's called Contagious, and it's I've been hooked to this song and listening to it all the time, which is something I don't do often. Being having one song on repeat, but this song is kind of
Right.
like Michael Jackson meets Prog in a very fun way. I don't know if we have time to play that or whatever because it's not even a 2023 song, so it doesn't fit the bill. But also me
Let's
listening to Soul and
let's leave people to figure that out. Oh, it's the new
yeah, yeah,
Soen, right? That
the
came
new
out as
Soul
well.
and as well. Yeah, so I've been listening to that. Um, Deer Hunter as usual. A lot of Pain of Salvation recently. Also some Opeth. I don't know why. Something
Right.
might be happening on that front, but I've been listening to lots of Opeth.
Me
Uh,
too. Weird. I don't know.
Vola, Textures. I've been listening to some Textures as well. Pineapple Thief. So yeah, I mean, more of the usual stuff that I like listening to. The new PSA.
Basically I've been listening to the stuff on this podcast pretty much. Uh, yeah, and
So it's
so
cool. I'm proud that I've listened to most of it. At
yeah,
least the songs,
very cool.
not the whole album in some instances, but definitely lots of those songs. And there's a lot to like and love here. So if you're
I will
itching for
say
new music, you've got you
yeah, a lot of
covered.
good
Yeah.
stuff here. I will say, if you've been missing out on some stuff, our Wheel of Prague episodes, we've done 4 now. The last one was Neil Morrison and Mike Portner albums, which was really fun. If you haven't watched that, check that out. And we have a few more Wheel of Prague episodes lined up that are going to be coming out over the next couple of months. We're not trying to do them every other week because we're going to run out of bands real quick. So kind of spacing them out. A lot of cool interviews. There'll be some new interviews coming up soon with Steve Hackett. Um, and a few other names as well that you want to check out. And I don't know, just email us, comment, let us know what else you want to hear, what you've been liking, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out wherever you get your podcast, progreport.com, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Dan, I'll see you later. We'll talk
See you later,
soon.
dude. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on all our socials and on progreport.com for all your news, interviews, reviews, and more. And we'll see you again real soon.